is in Peru, one of 31 countries that has adopted what we call one laptop per child. And these laptops are books. And when I say that, this is very much a Trojan horse approach. When I go to a minister of education in, let's say, Peru, I say, look, these are just books. But at night, the children come out and use them as connected laptops. But the book argument's a very powerful one, because on each laptop, you can put 100 books. So that child has 100 books on that laptop. But what's more important is that when you ship those laptops into a village, if you ship 100 laptops, most people don't think or remember that what you can do is put 100 different books on each laptop. So now a village in Africa gets 100 laptops, each with 100 different books, which means that those school children have 10,000 books. You and I did not have 10,000 books in primary school. That's a very interesting change, and then they become connected laptops of other sorts. These are a few more images. I want to dwell on this one because something that we've found, particularly in Africa and lots of in Afghanistan, is that the children, about 50% of the children, are teaching their parents how to read and write because of this project. And if I don't have anything else more compelling to tell you as an example, because that's a very important change in the role of the child in society. Most people think that children should be the objects of our teaching with a curriculum that's well-formed and well-established, and we know what you learn first, second, third, and then all the children of one age learn that together and move on the next year with the same children of the same age. Maybe there's something else where the children become the agents of change in environments like this one. What I really want to tell you about, which affects the telecommunications industry more than anything else, is that this laptop that you see here was dismissed 4 years ago. Michael Dell looked me in the eye and said, "Nicholas, it's impossible." Bill Gates said to me, "Geez, get a real computer." Craig Barrett, the chairman of Intel, called it a gadget. 4 years ago. And today, there's a netbook market. I saw a few coming in here, saw them on the people. The netbooks today, while people may argue with my number, will represent this calendar year 30%, 30%, of the world production of laptops. So just think of that. 4 years ago, it was dismissed, and today it's 30% of the market. That's a pretty interesting change. And I like that because that change shows you that you can move an industry very fast, A, if they get scared, and B, if the people moving it don't have a vested interest. One of the important things is that one laptop per child, we're not even a company, we're a nonprofit organization, and we're pushing children as a mission, not as a market. Now the problem, and I'll come to an end shortly, the problem with actually, I'll mention something about this very briefly. This is in Colombia, and in Colombia our partner is not the Minister of Education, but the Minister of Defense. And in the FARC region, which I just visited recently, was closed off for 40 years. These children had no telecommunications, no radio, no television, no nothing for 40 years. And when the Minister of Defense last summer, you will remember they rescued Betancourt and they did a lot of things. We went into that region a few months ago, and every child is connected to the internet and has their own laptop. And it's an instrument of peace. It's part of the peace process to bring these children who've been absolutely isolated with a new window into the world. And so I'm particularly proud of that one. This is Nigeria, and I'll leave that as a last image. I want to say something about And again, it's not going to be a popular remark, but let me end on it anyway. The netbook market, which is very tightly coupled with telecommunications, was given the name netbook by the marketing departments of laptop makers. And what they wanted to do was to make sure that the name gave the image that the laptop, the small little laptop, is weak and needs the net, and that everything would happen in a cloud and everything would happen, and that it wasn't really a laptop. Well, of course, they are laptops, and they're perfectly good laptops. But what about net computing? What about the cloud? It's called a cloud in general. And I want to end by making a distinction for those of you who are into broadband and advocating clouds, that everybody will be doing everything in some remote area and that what's in your hands is just a portal to that cloud. That doesn't always work. Not just because you don't have a cloud, and let me say these children in Nigeria, children in Ethiopia don't have clouds there. But I find even in Boston, New York, London, Paris, and Athens, where I have very good connectivity, the cloud kind of computing is more in the operator's interest, who wants you to have more on the network, than necessarily your own. So I think a lot of people should be very circumspect about how much and how you put things in the cloud, not for privacy issues, but just for ease of use and how you do computing. And what I do want to say, ending on a very positive note, I think that we will see in the next couple of years in Greece a real movement toward broadband, because we have been behind, and one of the best places to be is behind, because that gives you the energy to move forward. And I'm very glad to see people doing it. I was glad to hear the Prime Minister's remarks, and I look forward to being connected. Since I come every year, I used to come 10 times a year, I now come about 4 or 5 times a year, and being connected is very important, and I know it's very important to the economy and the education of the country. Thank you very much.
I'm wondering, Professor, whether you could accept to answer to up to 3 questions. Νομίζω να εκμεταλλευτούμε την παρουσία του κ. Negraponte. Αν υπάρχουν μέχρι 3 ερωτήσεις, παρακαλώ, από το ακροατήριο. Αν υπάρχει κάποιο μικρόφωνο, παρακαλώ, στον κύριο.
In Greek or English? Okay, they need. He can't ask the question in Greek without a microphone. Here comes a microphone. Here comes a microphone. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
In India, they have announced an $8 laptop. Do you think they will succeed to make
it? In English you say. The $10 laptop?
The $8.
The $8 laptop. You obviously didn't follow the news. For those of you who heard about this, India announced a $10 laptop, which was a total